Welcome, everyone, to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, the twice-a-week sports podcast, where I am your host, TJ, and I'm always accompanied by the Grumpy Old Man. There's no shame in his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
Welcome, Grump. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome again. This is a twice-a-week sports podcast. We talk anything sports. NFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, NBA. I think I already said that. But European soccer, or European football, we talk anything and everything sports. Also, NFL and college football right around the corner, Grump. I know I'm getting excited. I'm sure as many of the listeners of the show are. If you're new to the show, again, as I mentioned, every Thursday at 9 o'clock is when we try to go live. Obviously, you see we are running late today. And every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we go live, Grump.
I will not comment on your lateness today.
You didn't help at all prep anything, Grump. It's like you tell me all the time you don't want to talk WNBA. Every time you're like, oh, let's talk WNBA. I'm like, who cares, Grumpy? You say that all the time on the show. It's like you want to talk about it and say,
I wasn't talking about WNBA. I sent you a whole bunch of stuff. You just didn't like it. Just don't like it. You're so selective.
BS, Grumpy. You sent some Charmin weak things. I had to go through and do a lot of digging, but still, there's a lot to talk about today. Chet Holmgren broke his Lisfranc. He's going to be out for the entire 2022-2023 season, already on a season-ending injury. We're going to talk about that, implications that possibly may apply for him and what his career looks like going forward. Could be very early, but still, we're going to be. What, Grumpy? As I'm giving a lowdown of what we're going to talk about today.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We're talking about Chet Holmgren, as I just mentioned. We're going to talk about the NFL and college football right around the corner. I know we had spoken a little bit about, what expectations were. We're going to speak about, big games because, hey, college football starts around. I know Thursday they've already got some ranked teams playing. They got some football games here, college football games coming up this Saturday. We're going to talk about Paul Goldschmidt. Possibly might win the Triple Crown, right? He's number one in batting average. He was second in RBIs, tied for second in home runs, and he just had a monstrous night tonight. He's very, very, very close possibly to winning the Triple Crown if he can keep up at this pace. We're going to talk about the Champions League, the recent Champions League draw. And there's a little bit of a fight there at practice. What a shock. Another fight at a joint practice. Who would have figured, Grumpy? So there's a lot to talk about today and a lot of extracurricular activities that I know Grumpy probably has not seen, so he will enjoy.
That your passive aggressive attacks at me just never ceased.
No. There's seriously, I think there's some items that you have not seen on social media because you don't have any that I think you'll enjoy seeing. You're going to see a new way to drink a beer. It's kind of pretty cool and innovative, Grumpy. I think if you're a beer drinker, this is how probably you would drink beers. So it's it's quite interesting to say the least. And we'll talk
Isn't
about
there only one way to drink beer, like you put it in your mouth, unless you give yourself a beer enema. I mean, it's kind of only one way to drink it, right? Or unless you pour it up your nose. I don't know.
There's other ways to drink beers too, Grumpy, as you'll learn today. I remember we've spoken a lot about fan fights. Today we're going to have a fan fight, but we're also going to have a little bit of a fan. I would say a little bit of extracurricular activities done by fans in the stands. Not necessarily a fan fight, but I would say the exact opposite that will happen to cover that happened at the Oakland Athletics game. We'll talk about a crazy last-second overtime play in high school football. I'll ask you whether, you think it's complete luck or is this practice to perfection. So there's a lot to talk about that you, I'm sure, haven't seen that you're going to like today, Grumpy. First-time reactions from you.
I'm excited.
Let's look at some of these. Drell said, TJ, something crazy happened in class. In a nutshell, unless you want me to explain it, I got called a misogynist by a classmate because I had a group assignment on Deshaun Watson. Oh, Drew, he also said, I could send you a screenshot or story or possibly call it. No, Drew, we're talking sports today. I'll look at what you sent me in DMs. I'll look at that later here, but we're talking sports, a lot of sports to talk about. Alexander says, hey, TJ Grump, how you both doing? Doing well, Alexander. Hope you're doing well also. And Alexander says, TJ, if Grump was your boss on this podcast, Grump would have been fired. Mr. McMahon.
No.
Oh, you would have been fired. Huh?
Yes. You're fired.
Is that because I'm running late? Grumpy didn't help bad. I ran late, but Grumpy,
Yeah,
Jesus,
dude, come on,
there's a
please.
lot to prep
No one
for.
believes you. No one believes you. I don't know why. Look at the smile on your face. That's TJ's tell when he's lying. He's smiling. By the way, you ever see him smile like that? Nope, because he's lying. He's a liar.
That's what Good says, good evening, homeboys. Who do you predict will be in the World Series? Who will win the whole enchilada? That's a good question to start off with, Grump. Who do you think is going to be in the World Series, Grump? And who do you think takes home the World Series?
I gotta say Houston and the Dodgers.
You're
With the Mets, the
nuts.
Mets are my third. The Mets are the third. I just think the Dodgers are really, really
Walker
strong.
Buehler out for the rest of the damn season. Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, I don't
We're
care.
talking about okay, he's another one of those arms that you say,
But you realize
makes LA such a strong team. They've got good pitching too. That's one of those important arms. Done, finito, done for the season, Grump.
you realize he's been out for the last 3 months.
Okay, but he is done.
Okay,
They thought he maybe would come back for the postseason. Not at all. Done, Grump.
Okay. All I'm saying was he wasn't coming back. He hasn't been back. The Dodgers are loaded with arms. That's one of the strengths of their team. They're just loaded. They got Dustin May back. He's pitched extremely well right out of the chute. I mean, they get their relief pitching is phenomenal. They have pitching. They can pitch. Now, I still think they got a little choke in them. But I don't know if the Mets. We'll find out about the Mets. I think it's going to come down to Mets and Dodgers for who's going to win the National League, and I think Houston's going to win the American League.
I think the Mets are winning the National League. Okay. Is it because I'm a Mets fan? No, not at all. This is all based off of a extremely strong and scientific hypothesis. I do believe the Mets have a much superior pitching to the Los Angeles Dodgers. You cannot beat Scherzer, DeGrom, etc. DeGrom off to another great start tonight as well. Another 6-inning, 3-hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 9 strikeout performance. Again, a fantastic evening for Jacob DeGrom once again. Max Scherzer has been absolutely dialed in as of late. And geez, I tell you, that number 3 spot, the Mets have a lot of options for that area. They're going to have a lot of good long relievers, a lot of good relievers that guys who were starting pitchers are going to be able to come in later on in games. You know, I feel excited about their chances. I think pitching is it's stout, Grump. So you don't think the Yankees have a chance though to beat the Astros?
No. Nope. I don't think they beat the Mets or the Dodgers either. They're imperfectly built. I've said that since the beginning of the year, since before the year started, even when they were rolling. What was I saying about the Yankees? I don't like the way their team is constructed, and I still don't.
I think you're about to see a Subway World Series rematch. I think here's the thing. The Yankees have struggled, and I mean struggled mightily as of late. You want to talk about a hot take? I think the Yankees catch fire and start heating up this next month. I think they're going to go into the postseason where all those bats are hitting well, right? We talk about how, when you're a team that's so dependent and reliant upon big bats performing, hitting home runs, driving in runs, it's going to take some, you're going to go through time periods where you're as high as high as you could be, as high as a kite. You're going to be time periods when you're low. And right now they're in one of those lulls. You were going to have that one point of time or not. So, I think that, just the law of averages, they're going to start picking their bats back up. And there's no better time to start finding a little bit of that magical touch and a little bit of the hot hand heading into the postseason. I think the Yankees, despite struggling as well all season against the Houston Astros, I think they come out the better against the Houston Astros in the postseason. I think it's going to be the Mets and Yankees.
Okay, we'll see. You're wrong as usual, but that's okay. I just, you said they're going through a little lull. You're talking about like 40 games now.
Okay. They had about 80 or 90 games where they were unbelievably hot. Now they're going through about a 40-game lull. And guess what? They're going to start picking it back up, Grumpy, and they're going to be finding their stride come the postseason. I firmly believe that.
Okay. Nestor Cortez is hurt.
He's on the IL. Yep. He just got placed on the injured list.
Like I said, he's pitched more innings this year than he ever has. So, who knows if that's just a workload issue. I hate how they baby
it's a groin injury. It's a groin injury.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? When you're trying to, maybe you're feeling something else. You haven't pitched a lot, so your body's stressed a little bit because, you're pitching more, you're driving more. That's how those injuries happen. I'm just saying I hate how Major League Baseball babies their pitchers. It's like, okay, we got no more than 100 pitches a game. Guys used to throw 150, 160 pitches a game.
You
They
don't
just
throw the
did
ball
that.
fast
They
these days,
they
bro.
threw, but here's the thing. The more you throw, the stronger you get. That's just the way it is. And that's with anything.
I forgot to mention too, if you're new to this channel, we invite you to stick around a while. We invite you to subscribe on YouTube, to like on Facebook, and to follow on Twitter. Also, if you enjoy the content, the best way to let us know is by leaving a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm and gets Grumpy and I's word out there to more individuals. Who doesn't love that? And we grow the community there of the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man podcast. You know, he had mentioned about arms. I firmly believe that pitchers are throwing a lot faster now than they used to, and their throwing motions they're more violent. I'd say that's the reason why they're able to throw faster as well. You look at these throwing motions back in the day, Grumpy, everything looks so smooth for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The more you throw, the stronger you get. It's like with anything. Let's say you're a guy who digs ditches. The more you dig the ditches, the stronger you get, the stronger your back gets. Everything gets stronger. If they say, oh, you only allowed to take 10 shovels, all right, now get out. And then the next day you got to do 30 shovels, like, oh, now I'm hurting. That you just keep building up and building up and building up strength. The more you pitch, the better you get. That's all I'm saying.
Grumpy, any big update? What was the update, Grumpy?
Jacob deGrom non-strikeout night. There you go. Dominated through 6 innings against the Rockies.
I already got to that point for you too. Was the
Well,
crazy
you asked what it was. I told you.
I'm just saying we're up to date, Grumpy. We were getting it out there before ESPN was. But yeah, I think we might see a Subway World Series. Maybe that's because I'm wishing that to happen. Very well could be the case also. I think that right.
I think the Mets would beat the Yankees. The same reason I don't think the Yankees have a shot against Houston. They just good pitching beats good hitting. Yankees are just slug, slug, slug. Those teams don't win. Sorry.
Andrew L said, I'm going to keep nagging you about fantasy baseball until after this podcast. We are going to be releasing the fantasy baseball message on Twitter.
You mean fantasy football?
And yeah, fantasy football. I'm sorry. On Twitter, on Facebook, and on YouTube. We're going to be putting our email out there. So for people who are interested, we are going to be formulating what day, Grumpy. We're going to talk about it afterwards. We're thinking about Tuesday as the day of the draft. So at least you get through those Sunday games before, Greg, because the NFL regular season starts on Thursday. You're going to be able to make sure that if there's any season-ending injuries that happen on Sunday during the game, you don't have to worry about those popping up and ruining your draft before the season even starts. So we're thinking Tuesday. There's no more games before that first game of the season, which is Thursday evening. Joseph C. said, yes, Matt Ariza, I hope I pronounced that right, is in big trouble, accused of gang raping a 17-year-old girl in a civil suit. The dude plays a position where he won't have an NFL job ever again if proven true. Now, did you happen to see about that, Grumpy?
Yeah, I did. Buffalo cut him. There's no criminal case. Here's the thing. I don't know what happened. No one does. Supposedly there was a gang rape. Some high school girl, if true, why is there not a crime involved here?
Well, here's what happened. The lady.
Well, we don't know what happened.
Well, hold on. We can already tell you what the case says, Grumpy, that they filed in this civil suit, because I know you didn't do any of that reading, I'm sure, Grumpy.
You realize I sent you that article.
Did you read the articles?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's a civil suit. And I'm like, I read it twice. I'm like, why is there not a crime? I mean, don't you think that should be a criminal action?
Well, she went ahead and immediately called the police. So let's read actually what happened. Per the Times, in her lawsuit, and I hate these topics because these are not fun topics to talk about, but we'll try to get through as quickly and trying to find some sort of levity in a bad situation as possible. But per the Times, in her lawsuit, the woman said that they had already been drinking with friends at 17 years old. She'd been drinking with friends. And when they arrived at the party at Rockford Drive, and Ariza, who lived at the home, gave her a drink. She believes the drink not only contained alcohol but other intoxicating substances. The complaint says the woman said that she was raped for an hour and a half. Oh my God! Before the party was shut down, or was raped for an hour and a half before the party was shut down. And Ariza, Leonard, and one other individual, and two other individuals were present in the room. Ariza's lawyer, Kerry Armstrong, has denied the allegations. It's a shakeup because he's now with the Buffalo Bills. Armstrong said, "There is no doubt in my mind that Matt Ariza ever raped that girl." So again, he's saying that now it's just because he's part of the Bills that this is trying to come forward, and they're trying to attach his name to it. The LA Times also initially reported in June that there were claims that 5 football players gang raped a girl, and that San Diego State had waited more than 7 months to launch its own investigation. So this initial claim was made there, was reported there to San Diego State's football team, and they waited more than 7 months to claim an investigation or start an investigation. San Diego State later announced, hold on, I'm almost done. Later announced it had been trying not to interfere with the San Diego Police Department investigation, while noting that there was a report of an off-campus sexual assault on October 18th. In the lawsuit, the woman said that she went to the police one day after the party and underwent a rape exam at a hospital. So again, it sounds like that's going to be he said, she said, he said, she said type of item. We will have no idea what had happened about that. But this, people know, I think, Matt Ariza, because he was the viral sensation listed as the punt god after he kicked an 82-yard punt in a preseason game. So that had gathered him notoriety. He was a 6th-round pick by the Buffalo Bills, and he was recently cut.
And he won the kicking job. He won the punting job. Like I said, for me, the troubling, why are there no arrests? Why are there no arrests?
Well,
you went to the police department. She went to the police department. Was she raped? Was she not raped?
It's a rape kit test.
Okay. So what were the results? Because they didn't say they were. Here's the thing.
We
don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. My question is, if it did happen and she went to the police, why are there no arrests? I'm sure the police, oh, well, hey, we got a rape allegation. Let's just put it in our side pocket. I wouldn't think they would.
I would like to think that the police department would take, but you know how some of that stuff gets. It gets backlogged. It gets, I don't know. I figure that would be one of those items that they should take priority about. But who the heck knows?
They don't just sit. It's not like somebody stole,
like a cold case, Grumpy.
No, it's not like somebody, oh, I lost my watch. Somebody stole a watch.
Somebody stole
something
my
like that. This a lady was allegedly raped. A girl was allegedly raped. Why is there no crime? Why is there no crime against this guy? And here's my point.
Why is there no arrest, you mean, Grumpy?
Yes. Why is there no arrest made? I mean, how many months has this been? It's been months, right? How many months? 8, 9, 10 months? I don't know. She went to police. She went to San Diego State. They didn't want to interfere. So at least it's been out there for what, 8 months?
Yeah, I was about to say, people know about this, where either we've got some sort of elaborate, so I don't know.
And
San Diego State. Hold on, she said it was 4.
Well, guess what? The lawsuit said him and 2 others, so that's 3.
Okay. Anyway, well, the alleged report was 5 incidents of sexual assault by those football players. All I have to say is this: why is there not? They should have. I would like to think that they would have more information about that situation at this point in time. You're right; it's almost a year in. This almost happened over a year ago.
And Buffalo, of course, and I'm going to use the word caved, even though that's not what I mean. It's almost. I mean, I think it's innocent to proven guilty, but for this kid and a lot of these cases, guilty until proven innocent. I just want to know where the crime is. If he committed something, put him away, right? Absolutely. But it's like, why is there no arrests made if this actually happened? A civil suit. I mean, what does that even mean? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why there's not some sort of stricter punishment, because if somebody's out there who's taking advantage of or raping an individual, you want that person to be held to the fullest extent of the law. Why is there only being a civil suit brought up? There's more questions right now than I have than answers. It's one of those things like we always talk about how the NFL knew about shit before. These people understand what's going on in this situation, and we're only getting dribs and drabs of information. I just wish they would release everything that's going on.
Buffalo is known for 2 months. The Bills have
Holy
known
shit.
for 2 months.
Hold on. The Bills have known about this for 2 months?
Yep.
When did they find out? Hold on. How did we
It was
find
after, of course, they're so quick. Well, we didn't know when we drafted them. Like I said, the typical gutless, cowardly NFL.
Okay.
They all follow suit.
They're not lying. Oh, we didn't know about it when we drafted him, but we knew about it when he was reported in the camp, and we knew about it for the last 2 months. But it wasn't until it was released out here to the public that we determined to go ahead and take out. What a load of shit. Typical NFL bullshit.
Isn't that
typical NFL?
Isn't that right out of the NFL playbook, though?
Hopefully nothing ever comes up of this and we could just keep it under the rug. And if something else happens, it's not going to be, hopefully we can make sure that we do damage control, but nope. Hey, it came up too soon. Gotcha. Hey, we've known about it for the last 2 months, but we weren't going to do anything about it.
If it happened, he should have been arrested. Absolutely. But if it didn't happen, think about the irreparable harm that's against him, right? His career's over. No one's touching him anymore. His career is over. I mean, what recourse does he have? And like I said, I don't know.
Honestly, it reminds me of it's going to be one of those he said, she said. It's going to be like that Duke lacrosse stuff. I'm just throwing it. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but that's what I mean by that was a he said, she said between the Duke lacrosse team and those type of items.
And they all lied. They all lied, including the prosecutor lied. And Duke, they were all cleared, but it cost those kids big time in their careers. They were all cleared. It was all made up bullshit. And the Nifong wound up he got disbarred, wound up losing his job. I think he did some jail time as well. And, and they sued. They absolutely sued. And I think they sued Duke. Some of them sued Duke, who didn't back them up. The head coach lost his job over made up allegations. Once again, it's supposed to be in this country guilty until proven until proven guilty, but in this country for some cases it's guilty until proven innocent.
The issue I've got about all this is Buffalo knew about this for 2 months. Are you trying to tell me that Buffalo, as soon as this didn't cross their path, they weren't looking into it saying, hold on a second, there's been a report that there is that one of the players we selected and drafted has rape allegations. Hold on a second. We need to investigate this. I would like to think that the Buffalo Bills did some sort of investigation on their own, but are you trying to tell me that no, they didn't, or no, we're just going to try to lay low? Here's the thing. They know more than we know about the situation also, and they don't take any action until it gets leaked to the public that this occurred, and then all of a sudden they say, oh, gotcha, as soon as this is out here, we're getting rid of him. You've known about this shit for 2 months.
Was he cleared by the police?
Who the heck knows? We'll know more as it comes out.
That's my whole thing. They don't mention anything about that in the article. It's like, was he cleared by police?
Well, we do not know much. Maybe the individuals involved in the case know more, and I'm sure maybe the police know more, and I guarantee you the teams know more. But I did think that it was very odd that you just had mentioned. I didn't know about that. The Buffalo Bills knew about this for 2 months. Holy shit. Typical. Anyway, let's move on. I don't want to get too much down that rabbit hole, but we needed to mention it because here's the thing. If he did that, it needs to be thrown away. Simple as that. You can't be doing stuff like that. I mean, that's awful if those allegations are true. If
I'm
not,
just going to say one last thing where he says, I don't think it needs, even if it's proven true or not. Even if it's not, he's done in the NFL.
Yep.
I mean, he doesn't have any recourse. You're never going to get your good name back. And here's the thing, I don't know if he did it. I want to just say that up top. Why, if he did it, why has he not been arrested? Has he been cleared? It's just like, I mean, if it didn't happen, what recourse does he have?
Yeah, no, we're 20 minutes in, Grumpy. We're trying to keep this lighthearted here. You like to go on your soapbox when we talk about issues like that. That's fine. I want you to go ahead and get your word out.
I'm just asking legitimate questions. That's all. I'm not saying anything. I'm asking questions.
No, you are saying because you asked questions and then you started stating. That's fine. It was what it is. Alexander said, set you two fan fights. One of them we covered last week, Alexander, but one of them is actually we covered last year. But we're going to do a throwback to it because these are
Yes.
two that we've already covered, but one of them is worth throwing back out there because it's just that funny.
I wonder if our commentary changes from last year to this year.
Perhaps it does. Okay. We got here. Alexander says, Grump would have fired you. My bad. I just misread it. Joseph C said, I don't think Chet Holmgren is going to hold up in the NBA due to the body of a 15-year-old going against men. That is another topic I want to talk about. So Chet Holmgren broke his Lisfranc. My God, he's already out with a season-ending injury, Grump. Let me ask you, is it too early to call potential bust on this young man?
Yeah, it's a little too early for that. But the one thing about him healing from this, he doesn't have to worry about putting too much weight on that injury for certain when he walks around. I think he weighs like 115 pounds. So it's not like he's going to really put a whole lot of stress on his foot when he's walking around.
My God. Already, dude, you shouldn't be breaking your Lisfranc when you're out there playing basketball. You're 19 years old.
Yeah, but, it happens. I mean, the
it's
twisting.
very rare. It's not like this is a common injury. It's a very rare injury.
Well, but it happens. Like I said, and for people who are really tall, their bones can be a little bit more brittle. It's just, he's just super skinny.
Is there any shock that that type of frame broke his Lisfranc?
I mean, his shoe doesn't even fit. Look at his fit. Look at how much gap he's got between the heel and
Jesus Christ. Is he wearing about 3 sizes shoes too big? Holy crap. Maybe that's why he's got extra torque on his foot.
And I'm going to tell you what, you looked at the first picture. That's no way. That's his body. No way. That's his upper body. I'm sorry. No,
that's his upper body.
No, he's skinnier than that.
Oh, stop. Grumpy, that's his body. Come on.
That kid's a freaking beanpole.
Grumpy, don't worry. It was inevitable.
I'm jealous. I wish I had that type of frame.
No, Grumpy, dude, that's one of those. Oh, who doesn't love all these images? The little crying Jordan face there. Oh, look how sad. I'm telling you, that's Chet Holmgren right here.
Who are those guys?
That's Chet Holmgren, and I cannot remember who number 3 is, but they posted the image. Chet Holmgren is the meme of the crying Michael Jordan, and this is one of the OG memes where they're doing that look like, I told you so.
Oh.
So, but no, Chet Holmgren, my gosh, I'm almost leaning towards he's got bust written on him.
It's a little early. Early.
Can you not see a Greg Oden type of career for this young man?
No, I could see a Sean Bradley type career. I mean, he could be, but I'm going to give him a little bit of rope. You get on me for blasting Becton, who's been hurt every single year in the league. And this kid, I don't even know, were they even playing? I don't even think maybe it's just a pickup game.
It was remember the summer league games, Grumpy, were going on, but the summer league's over. So it was just at practicing around, making cuts and turns. It wasn't like, hey, some big old galoop stomped on my foot and I broke my Lisfranc. He's just out there practicing and broke his Lisfranc. Holy crap.
It would be unfair for me to say that anyone getting hurt before they play in their rookie season is a bust. That'd be unfair, and it's unfair of you to say it. I give him a little bit of rope, and then I see.
I'm just saying, I think that I guess call me early to the party. I could very easily see Chet Holmgren being a bust. I really can.
Okay.
I'm worried that a guy that tall and skinny has fragile bones like that and has already broken he's broken that Lisfranc. Dude, with these people, right? When you look at feet and you look at mobility, he's already a guy that kind of struggles with mobility just because of his frame. The guys who are unbelievably fat and cannot get themselves in shape, and the guys who are unbelievably skinny and cannot put on weight are the guys who always struggle with feet mobility and how nimble they are on their feet. You have this guy breaking bones in his feet already. 19 years old.
It happens. I mean,
it happens.
Okay, but
it happens.
Well, some guys just have that issue. I don't know if he's had injuries like that his whole career, if he's had issues with his feet. Bill Walton did. When he came out of college, he had foot injuries all the time. And Bill Walton was a tremendous player, but that shortened his career for certain. It just kind of is what it is. I'm not going to call him a bust yet because they haven't even started training camp yet. Already, he's going to miss the first year. It happens, right? It happens. If he gets the same injury or a similar injury next year, well, then you got to look at it a little bit differently. But for the first time, I don't know.
I'm,
Tough to
I'm
call him a
jumping.
bust.
I'm going to jump early on the. I think Chet Holmgren could be a bust. I think that's one of those injuries for him that specifically bothers me. If he was a guy with a normal frame, or this is a guy, let's say when Jason Tatum came out and he broke his Lisfranc, I wouldn't be as worried. I'm worried about him because he's deathly skinny and he has trouble putting on weight. He's got that inability to keep weight on. He has that inability to grow muscle mass and size. I worry about that type of injury for him.
Okay, here's my thing. It's because you are anti-skinny. Just looking at you, I
I'm
think you hate.
anti-skinny. Get to the gym, Chet Holmgren.
You think
You
people
do.
who
You're going to keep breaking your feet bone. You're going to break your Lisfranc every year until you put on some muscle, Chet.
you hate people who are thin because you're jealous of
And I
their.
stick with my big boys. I stick with my Mekhi Bectons. The skinny boys, immediate bust. Mekhi Becton, not a bust yet. He's coming back. He's coming back better than ever.
Again, your hatred of people who are thin, because that's not what you are, is very, very painful for you. I understand, but that doesn't mean you should label them a bust.
Oh, my gosh.
Your anger towards the thinner people in society is disturbing.
Oh, Grumpy, the calm voice of reason. Oh, looky there. Looky there. Got a comment here from Stephen S. saying, I'm a bit sad. Me and my dad may not be able to do fantasy football this year. The league we're in might be taking a year off.
What?
As far as we know, hopefully we could still do it. Always fun to do it. Well, you'll always have a home here. I don't know how large the league is going to be when we put this out, Grumpy. It may be like 30 or 40 or 50. I don't know how many people are interested.
Well, I know how, I can show you ways to do that because in the Warden's Money League,
You've told me. I understand. Thank
no
you.
reason for you to get short and angry as usual.
You're going to start going, because I know if I'd let you even a freaking inch in to talk about fantasy sports, you're going to talk about all this other nonsense because you can't help yourself, Grumpy. So I had to cut you off preemptively. We got a tight ship to run here, Grumpy. Alexander said, I'll send you a link there. Oh yeah. I tell you that was it's a crazy story. With that Matt Ariza. Stephen Essel said, also, I'm sure you two have already heard the news about the reverse retro 2.0 shirts leaking online. I hate that we have nothing for my Predators. I want to say, that I want that derpy cat logo with the blue checker jersey. Oof. Let me check the reverse retros.
Yeah, I don't know what that jersey is. Sorry, Steven. So, but I mean, I like the alternate uniforms. They don't use them a whole lot. That's where teams should be creative. They're just money-making vehicles. That's all they are. And that's how they should be treated. They should make them to appeal to kids. They shouldn't try to appeal to, older fans. Older fans aren't buying jerseys. It's the young people who buy jerseys, right? So they should do something that, oh, hey, yeah, I got a regular jersey, but I want to go out, hey, let's get that flashy new jersey. I mean, I loved what the Kings did last year. I love that jersey. I love that color scheme. So for me, St. Louis, the blues with that powder blue, like that, those Charger colors are just great. For me, that's the way you go. And like I said, the Islanders bringing back the Fishermen, I think it's so smart. They're going to make so many sales. I'm going to go, oh man, maybe we need to do this a little bit more. For a third jersey, the worst one the Islanders ever had was that NY, black and white. Like, whoa.
So this was the one that was released and then taken down. Honestly, I don't like the freaking color.
That's the Capitals.
That's the Capitals. It was only one team. That's correct, Grumpy. It was one team from what I see. Everything else has just been as concepts, but this one I think was accidentally leaked early. As you could see here, that was by Fanatics. But man, I'm a big fan of that type of Capitals. I like that retro.
Yeah.
I wish it was white though. I wish it was the white and that blue, the stark blue and the black like that contrasted so well. It looks like the eagle is some sort of like blackish blue. I'm not a big fan of the way that one looks. I like the design, but I'm just not a fan of the color scheme if that's the case.
They want to make it the most colorful jersey.
Yikes.
That's you're trying to sell. You're trying at something that pops.
Do the white and the black eagle originally, Grumpy. That one is the OG. That's the real retro,
It
Grumpy.
wasn't white and black, by the way.
It was white, black, and blue.
No, it was not black. It was that navy. It was like that deep blue with the gold stripe, the gold stars on it, is what it was. I have it upstairs right now.
I used to wear that as a kid. I'm very familiar with what it looked like, Grump.
Sure.
Right here.
There it is. Gold. There it is. Gold stars, not stripes. There you go.
What are you talking? I just said white, black, and blue. They also got some gold on it.
Oh my God, you didn't say gold. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. So what you're trying to? There you go. So you're trying to say that you're gonna that, and it's not a black. It's like a deep blue.
No, it's not.
It is.
And this one right here is the one I'm talking about. Right here, Grumpy. You see it?
Yeah, that's not black. That's a deep
black.
blue. It's
The black on the eagle. That's black. There's blue. That's black right there, and there's black on the eagle. The eagle looked like it was blue.
Excuse me. Are you planning on buying a Washington Capitals jersey?
I would have bought that Washington Capitals jersey. Absolutely.
Well, I bought you one a long time ago, but you grew out of it.
I don't think I fit it anymore.
Chet Holmgren could still wear it.
Chet Holmgren could wear it. Alexander says here, Gary Cohen is such a jinx. He mentioned Jacob deGrom, perfect game, and next batter. Up infield hit.
I wonder what they're going to do with Jacob deGrom after the season.
They should sign him back. Bring him back, Grumpy. Bring him back. Pay the man the money. Simple.
Okay.
It's like, I believe, pay that man his money. John M. saying, good evening, everyone. What's up, John? How are you? Goon says here, Grumpy, a few episodes ago, you said you were going to discuss 2 stinky upcoming movies that had to do with Jaws and Twister. Is this the right time to discuss now?
Why not? Why not?
Go, Grumpy.
I saw these trailers, and I'm like, I wonder if it's a spoof or something. It was so bad. They look so bad. Richard Dreyfuss was in the Jaws one, and Helen Hunt, who was in Twister, was in the Twister one. And the only, Bill Paxton would have been in it, but thank goodness he'd probably rather be dead, which he is, than be in a remake of Twister. But I'm looking at that. I'm like, these cannot possibly be movies coming out. They look, I'm serious. The trailers or whatever look so bad. I almost think like I was getting punked.
What was it? Tell me again the name of the movie.
It was Jaws 4, I think it was, and Twister, a Twister remake. I was like, and I'm looking at it, looked like they, put production value into this. And I'm like, you just see.
Are you sure it's not Jaws 5?
Maybe it's Jaws 5. I don't know. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, please tell me this isn't true. If you have those trailers, pop them up, because I've never seen anything so bad, honest, my whole life. I'm horrified. I'm like, Richard Dreyfuss, Oscar winner. Do you really need the money that bad? Unless it is a spoof, unless you're spoofing it. Everybody else in the cast is dead. He's the only guy left. And so maybe, he's just spoofing it. I don't know. But
okay, hold on a second. I'm going to pull it up, Grumpy.
And then look for the Twister one too.
I will pull up the Twister one as we're watching this. So let me dismiss that. I'll put some volume on.
Make it big so everyone can see it.
Okay, I got you, Grumpy. Oh man, they got no volume with it. That's crummy. Hold on, let me try to find
volume. We can hear it.
You can hear it?
Yep.
No, you're the only person that can hear that, Crumb. Oh my gosh. Hold on a second. It honestly reminds me, it's looking a little bit like Sharknado.
Yes, get rid of the comment.
There's
a lot of blood in the water.
Missing about 100 miles up the Orange River.
All excited.
You have seen things no one else has seen.
There he is, Richard Dreyfuss.
All that happened a long
I
time
don't know why I can't hear it on
We
my
defeated
side.
him.
What the hell am I doing?
I know you've been through hell. Now you're gonna have to go through high water.
Mr.
I need
Blonde.
someone that can rely on. I need someone with history. History.
I don't have time to listen to this nonsense anymore, Ava.
You don't wake up.
What's going on, Grumpy? Describe it, because I can't hear it.
I can hear it. There's a shark that looks like it's got 80 foot long. It's coming out. It looks like a big sperm whale or something. They're shooting with machine guns. It's just so big. I know it's going to hop out of here and eat this. Oh, it just almost knocks the whole boat over.
It capsized the entire freaking boat. Oh my god. This is Sharknado, Grumpy. That's exactly what it is. It's shitty Sharknado.
No, it says Jaws.
I understand. It's as shitty as Sharknado. Without being able to listen to it, I'm saying it's as bad as Sharknado. So there it is, Grumpy. I hope everybody can hear. I don't know. I couldn't hear any of it. And you said which was the other one, Grump?
Twister. I just don't know if that's true. I hope it's not because it's embarrassing. Twister 20, new Twister trailer, whatever. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, good gracious.
Twister 2. And Casper Van Diem, who was in
the thing that's different about a Verbo vacation home.
Are you able to hear this?
You always have the whole.
I can hear it, yeah.
The fuck is going on with my... I don't know what I'm doing over here wrong. I don't know if any. Please in the comments let us know if you can hear this or not.
Make it bigger. Make it bigger.
Okay, Grumpy.
They show the flag with people in Middle America. Uh-oh. And I love the first Twister movie.
Things should start to improve into the morning hours.
Your dad's picking you up at the airport. It'll be fun. Your father looks happy.
Hope it wasn't too loud.
Sweet.
Maybe they should have had the two movies together.
Moment what are believed to be
Jaws
tornadoes
meets
or hurricanes are causing massive destruction.
Jaws meets Twister.
That'd be like Sharknado. Uh-oh.
Is there anything bigger, like an F6?
That's like a nuclear bomb going off.
There's no such thing as an F6 back then.
An F6 tornado, Grumpy. It's way worse than an F5.
They only go to 5.
This is worse than a 5, Grumpy.
That's a hell of a tornado.
They had to create a new they had to create a new Twister. Don't you love the way this looks, Grumpy? Are you
Helen Hunt, another former Academy Award winner. This Casper Van Diem from the
why are they driving into the Twister?
Starship Troopers movies.
Why are they driving into the Twister, Grumpy?
Like Johnny Rico previously. Look at him.
Oh,
watch out!
Why? Hold on. Why are they driving into the Twister?
I don't know. School buses for the movie. Look at this. Oh, my God.
No! Look at all those.
A lot of these
clouds. All hitting at once.
I mean, come on. There's Johnny Rico going, what the hell?
So we get the drift. Gist. Not great, Grumpy. Not great.
Honestly, they look so bad. They look so bad. Now, for free, I watch them.
No, you would spend your time watching that.
For free just to shred them later. I love to talk over movies like that, as you can tell, just me talking over the trailer. I mean, I like Casper Van Diem. I loved him in, like I said, the Starship Troopers, particularly the first one. He wasn't in the second one, but he was in the third one. Johnny Rico, one of my favorite characters ever. Helen Hunt, Richard Dreyfuss, just need the money. What can I tell you?
Nuke him, Rico.
Johnny Rico, you know what to do. Yes, sir. Brrr, kills his guy. Rat check. Rat checks roughnecks.
Oh my gosh!
I love when they're in the school scene and he puts his hand, his elbow, because he lost his arm in a war, on top of somebody's shoulders. He's like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Drill said, I saw a great video by AM Hoops, which basically explained Holmgren's injuries and the repercussions of it. If anybody has time after the podcast to check it out, do so. It's a good video. I assume, Drew, they said that this could possibly be a not so great injury for his frame. Joseph C said, got tickets to the Saturday Mets game. They're doing an old timers day. Looking forward to seeing guys like Mike Piazza, Todd Huntley, Rico Barton, Edgardo Alfonso, etc. Guys I grew up with.
The Mets have never done an old timers game, pretty much because they've sucked forever. That's like a Yankees thing, but good for them. I'm glad. I love the old timers games. It's great to see them roll out, wheel out, walk out, jog out onto the field to get the cheers of the fans. I think it's great.
You think they're going to invite Carlos Beltran back?
Probably not.
After I was about to say, after the hiring and then the firing, I mean,
honestly, again, I mean, Showalter's a good choice for manager for them. I like that, as you know, but I think Carlos Beltran deserves another chance.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean,
we're gonna
give him a chance. How about a chance?
Everybody on that team was doing it. Everybody was complicit, from players to coaches.
Cora got his job back.
Yeah. Oh man. Yes, Drew, you still got a spot in the league. Absolutely. Like, I'm going to send it out to get a little bit of a pull there. Alexander says, Jesus Christ, TJ, please put your blouse on. You're married, bro.
Yeah,
Big
man.
boy. I don't even know what that means. Put a blouse on.
Put a shirt on is what he's trying to say.
Shirt.
Or maybe put on a woman's blouse. That's what he's probably trying to say.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that, Alexander. Stephen S. said, before I forget, I'm not sure if I'm the only one who thinks this, but the one logo I want to change immediately out of the NFL teams is the Cleveland Browns. It's the most generic, boring NFL logo. I'd be down for that too. I'm not a big fan of the Browns. The helmet, I know it's like, hey, we're a throwback, but I'm like, okay, guys. It's just heads. Like, it's almost like you might as well say that Browns logo is like the fisherman logo. I feel like, because I've had so many years of just shit. It's time to freaking renovate that logo, renovate the image.
Do you want to know who also is not a fan of the Cleveland Browns?
Who's that? The NFL?
The football gods. They hate them. Anything that possibly go wrong does with the Browns. You know, they do have a little, it's like a little elf. They call him, he's a brownie.
Oh, it's not good.
Little guy with the little, the little pointy little green shoes and a pointy little hat. He looks like one of Santa's elves gone bad.
It's like, I'm about to pull up Brownie the Elf is his name.
Yeah,
they also have Chomps. Do they use Brownie the Elf, or is it Chomps?
It's Brownie the Elf. They don't have Chomps.
Okay,
that was just because of the dog pound thing. But it's a little Brownie the Elf. Like I said, he was up there in the North Pole building toys, and he started sniffing the glue too much, and he turned into Brownie the Elf. He's living on the streets in Cleveland right now. Very, very difficult life for Brownie.
Here he is, Brownie the Elf, Grumpy. Sorry, that's pixelated. But Brownie the Elf, Grump.
They actually have the little, like the little, yeah, I mean, that's him right here. He's like, we'll cheer for glue or crack.
Oh, no, we're losing. Oh, no. And still, Browns fans show up in hordes to watch that miserable team.
I'm surprised that guy doesn't get beaten up every single game.
Brownie the Elf. And he said, if I were the Browns, I would change it to like the logo of a Rottweiler, since the dog pound is very popular with the Browns. And then it would add an aggressive look to the dog's face while it had a bone in its mouth, which would snap in two. The dog would also wear a spike collar with the Browns' current Helmo.
Helmo? What's a Helmo? Is that a helmet logo?
It's a helmet logo all thrown into one. A helmet logo as the dog's identification/vaccination tag.
And they should put on the last time they won a championship.
Oh,
but they'd have to put it in Roman numerals because that's all they used back then.
Super Bowl 1. I'm just kidding. They've
never been in the Super Bowl. You know that, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right. They don't want.
That's why I said the last championship they'd have to use Roman numerals because that's the type of numbering system they used the last time they won. Oh, it was a joke, son. It's a joke. Work with me here.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Am I too fast for this side of the screen? That's what I want to know.
Oh, good gracious. Good gracious. Finally, I would add the letters C and B on both ends of the bones in black outline marks with a C on the left side of the bone and the B on the right side of the bone.
All right. Stephen's given this a lot of thought.
I was about to say, he's gone very in depth. I know he has thought this out. He's probably got a rough drawing, a rough picture of what this should look like.
Probably got some type of mock-up. And as a Green Bay fan, that's going the extra mile.
I was about to say, Steven, if you have a mock-up, send it to us. We'll show it. Goon says, which is the most disgusting? Taco Bell, Domino's, or Subway?
Yeah, Taco Bell. For me, Taco Bell. There's nothing I would ever eat at Taco Bell.
I would also have to agree, Taco Bell. I'll eat Subway. I'll eat a hoagie. I eat Domino's. That's my place I eat pizza at. So it's got to be Taco Bell. Got to be Taco Bell for me.
Yeah.
The C and the B stands for Cleveland Browns. That's right. And it would be an unbelievable logo. He says, Drell said, by the way, TJ, I didn't have enough time to say some Islanders never said I, but I sent you something I think Grumpy would find amusing. Oh, hold on. I'll have to look that up. Joseph C said, Ariza, according to ESPN, admitted to have sex with a minor and said the girl should be tested for STDs. That's holy shit. That's not good.
Why was he not arrested?
Exactly.
I just want to know.
I'm gonna say maybe he could say, okay, I didn't know that she was a minor, because that's right. That's not the age of legal consent. I thought it's 18 years old.
I don't know. I don't know what the laws are.
I honestly, I don't even know what the law is. I think it's 18 or should be. Maybe it's less, but I don't know. I think it should be 18. I can't tell you. I bone up on. I'm not the man to go to speaking about all the laws. That's for certain. Brian J says here, what's wrong with the Giants all getting hurt? Is it the turf? Is it the turf? This is a serious issue. You saw that Kayvon Thibodeau kind of got freaking submarined a bit, Grumpy, right?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the turf.
I
Maybe
know.
maybe Dabo's working them too hard. Maybe they should be on a pitch count. Well, we'll just play a couple of reps and then sit out because we don't want to, get you injured. Go out
Mm.
there and play as hard as you can. It is what it is.
Well, sometimes those cleats get a little extra stuck, and it's easier to bounce off when you're not in turf. That's again, like I had never had like a situation. It's all such a fraction of a second item too, so it's tough to say.
It's a
Ale-
tough physical game. It just is.
Alexander said that's unfortunate for Chet Holmgren. For certain, it is. Um, Drew L said, apparently, I heard that there's a new rule with each MLB team. There's a slight chance the MLB might expand internationally, specifically in Japan. That's what I've heard from my professor.
No, don't do it. It doesn't. It's no.
Are they
No,
going to
no.
play a game or so or a series in Japan? Is that what they're going to do? They can't have a team in Japan.
No, they've done that before. You can't, and the same thing with the NFL testing, the European market. No, there's too much of a time difference. It's not where it is, it's the time that's involved. No. Talk about a home field advantage. I mean, you put a team in Japan, they should win every single series. We keeping you awake, TJ?
Yeah, you are, Grumpy. Alexander said, guys, did you hear what the Jazz wanted from the Knicks for Donovan Mitchell? Yeah, they apparently wanted 15 first-round picks,
It was not
the rights to the franchise, the rights to anything else that the ownership group owns is what they wanted for Donovan Mitchell. That's what I had heard. So it was quite a bit. Yeah, and Brian J said, screw Danny Ainge. They could keep him. Grump, what was it, like 6 or 7 first-round picks? Some ridiculous number.
I think they said 7. I think someone said 7.
Christ almighty.
That's Danny Ainge, though. I told you that weeks ago. That's Danny Ainge. You'll think you'll have a deal with him, and then he wants something else. He has a kill on every trade, and he winds up not doing anything. Analysis by paralysis, or paralysis by analysis.
Gungun says, why are the Ranger fans still upset with Mr. Poffin, but are at peace with Mr. Schultz after the hard-to-watch assault he unleashed on Dale Rolfe in 1974? Grumpy.
That was brutal. That was brutal against Dale Rolfe. Brutal. What a beating. And I remember the other Rangers, like Steve Vickers, who was a tough guy, just standing there watching. At some point in time, you got to jump in and save your guy. I mean, Dale Rolfe was not really a tough physical defenseman, and Dave Schultz just beat the living hell out of him. And Vickers, who was a legitimate tough guy, stood right there and watched. The Flyers never would have let that happen. They all would have jumped in. They could care less. They didn't like it with Potvin because they thought they had a legitimate shot to win a Stanley Cup that year.
Alexander says, it's too early to call him a bust. Come on, TJ. Brian J says, guy is talented, but he isn't a bust. Come on, LOL. I worry that he'll never be able to compete at the level he needs to be. I already had questions about his fragility, and my God almighty, can't even make it to game 1. Can't even make it to preseason before getting injured on a season-ending injury. Jarrell said Holmgren got injured by getting bumped by LeBron in a Pro-Am game. Oh, I hope that's not true. My God, that's pathetic.
I heard LeBron put him in the figure 4 leg lock, and that was it.
Ooh. Giles says here, oi, what's up? Oi, back at you. What, Grump? Giles. Gills? I don't know. He's always foreign, Grumpy. So
we is what he said. Not oi.
Oi.
Not oi. It's not oi. It's we. It's French.
Oi. What's up, Giles? Oi.
No. Jesus.
Tony G says Subway by a long shot, Goongoot. No, Subway's not bad. Subway's not bad at all. Oh my God. Tony G said, I could tell you right now, I'm not clipping that sexual assault shit. I'm glad. What a freaking bummer. Yeah, I was about to say that's not the fun things we like to talk about. It's like when the unfortunate items where you have to cover because it's in the sports world and it's in the news. You kind of like, okay, I don't want to talk about this, but I kind of have to. Larry James says here, crazy. Imagine Chet against real centers. Chet is barbecue chicken. I tell you,
I don't look at him as being a center. For me, he's a small forward.
Oh, stop.
He just is. That's his body type. He's not going to be able to handle anybody down low. But now, guy, you got to remember, the NBA now more than ever is more of a positionless game. So somebody like that can succeed no matter. He can shoot the ball from range too. He'll be a matchup nightmare. But what's he going to bring defensively? I don't think he's going to bring much at all. He's frail right now. He's got to put quite a bit of weight on. Sorry, Chet.
Alexander says Christoph Porzingis had a skinny body and he wasn't a bust. No, it's not the fact that he's a skinny body that he's a bust. It's the fact that he can't stay healthy and he has that frame that cannot hold weight. Christoph Porzingis tore that ACL once, but that was it. Other than that, he's been extremely healthy throughout his career.
He wasn't as skinny as Chet Holmgren's really skinny. He's really, really thin.
That's a name I hadn't thought of in a while. Christoph Porzingis, Grumpy. My gosh.
He was good.
This guy who
good.
Was
he was good for a while. He was good for a while.
And when he was younger, I feel like he had so much hype behind him too, and he just kind of fizzled and faded a bit.
Played in New York. That's what you get.
Well, I mean, he was on the trajectory. They thought this guy was going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread.
It's
And
'cause
he's a very good NBA player, but not at the level they had originally expected.
You play in New York or Los Angeles, you're going to get maximum hype, period.
Very true, Grump. Alexander said, instead of fish sticks, why not the old logo with the lighthouse on the shoulders?
You want to be different. You want it to be different. You don't want it to be some variation of the same thing you have for the most part. You want it to be totally different.
Larry James said, Joel Embiid, 7'1", 270 pounds. Jokic, 7'1", 250 pounds. And Jokic was a fat boy. I'm glad he trimmed down the way he did. Bam Adebayo, 6'10", 250 pounds. Giannis is 6'10", 240 pounds. All big men are extremely strong in the NBA.
Yep.
What's Chet Holmgren? Would you say he's even 200 pounds, dripping wet? He doesn't look like it.
What's he like, 7'1", 215? He's thin. He's thin. He's really I don't even know if he weighs 215, honestly. I'm jealous of how much he weighs. And he's like a foot and a half. Well, not a foot and a half, but he's taller than I am, probably a foot taller than I am.
Drew L says here, maybe his injury will get Chet on his long-awaited bulking diet required by OKC. But knowing their training staff, maybe they're not giving, or maybe they're not the best at giving the skinny players more food.
This should get him a chance to build up muscle, particularly in the upper body. I don't know how long, like I said, this injury, if he can do anything with his legs, but he's going to need to have a sturdier foundation. Just going to have to.
I'm telling you, don't expect much out of him. I just worry about that injury. So freaking unbelievably skinny.
You hate him because he's skinny.
That boy pride, baby. Frank says, hey, what's up, Frank? And what have I missed? A long day in the construction world. Rob saying, hey, everybody. And Jaws, The Revenge.
That was one of the other Jaws movies. Maybe that was Jaws 4. I don't know how many there were. Maybe Jaws 4. I think that was Jaws 4. The first one was the best. The second was, I love the second one. Little campy, but I love it. Guilty pleasure movie for certain. The rest, no.
Nick D says, TJ, I was standing next to a mountain and I chopped it down with the edge of my hand. Grumpy will get it.
That's
What's that
true.
from, Grumpy?
That's a movie.
What movie?
I don't remember.
Oh, looky there. He forgets. Stephen S. says, yeah, as a filmmaker myself who tries to find the worst movies of all time, I can confirm Jaws 4 is a terrible movie. I kid you not. There's a scene in that film where the shark roars. My gosh.
Yeah, sharks don't roar. Okay, they even in the first Jaws, they had them roar. They actually had that a little bit of a roar.
Oh God. Yeah. Drew L said, "Oh, TJ, I forgot. Are you going to be doing a live stream on Tuesday for the fantasy draft?" No, probably not. I would assume not. But I don't know. Maybe Grump and I'll talk about it. I assume not, though. Rob says here, I think that's the new Piranha or the newer Piranha movie. Oh yeah, oof. That was also a terrible movie too.
Yeah, the original everything was an offshoot of Jaws. Everything, all those animals attacking somebody, they were all offshoots of Jaws. Jaws was the original.
Ryan J said, "My God, it looked awful." And what the hell? What the f?
Missiles. Yeah, shooting missiles at a shark.
Stephen said, "I've only seen the end of Twister, but from what I saw, it's pretty unrealistic." In my opinion,
of the original movie, I enjoyed the original one. It's another one of those guilty pleasure movies for certain. I didn't think it was bad. This one's terrible. Anytime that you see 6 or 7 tornadoes going in different directions, attacking cars, come on, it doesn't happen.
Tony, she said, "I'm a voodoo Chile lord. I'm a voodoo Chile. What is that?
I don't know. Chipotle? I don't know.
Hold on. How do you say? How did you just say that? How do you say that place?
Chipotle.
There it is, Grumpy. Nick D said, "I sure miss Philip Seymour Hoffman."
He was in Twister.
Mm.
Get caught in the suck zone.
Rob says, "Jaws. The revenge is so bad it's hilarious." Where Ellen rams the shark with the boat and it roars is awesome.
Yeah, that's like, those are movies you watch when it's like it's on in the background, everyone's having a good time. You just kind of put that on, and it's certainly not a cinematic masterpiece, that's for certain.
No, Driel said that furniture has their spiritual awakening by levitating it in that trailer.
Yes. I mean, think about of all the characters in Jaws, the one who was in everyone was Ellen frickin' Brody. Ellen Brody.
Alexander also couldn't believe missiles. Stephen S. says, also, I actually learned a while ago that you can survive getting flung from a tornado if your body is perfectly still. Basically, you just have to be unconscious for it to happen.
Okay. I don't know.
I'll take your word on it, Stephen. I'm not going to try that out until Twister comes around.
Yeah.
And Brian J. said, Billy Paxton must be rolling around in his grave right now.
Yeah. I love one scene. They had the other guy, Carrie Elwes was like the other guy who was getting funding. He says, he went out and got himself some corporate sponsorship. He's in it for the money, not the science. Okay. For any of these things to happen, you need corporate sponsorship. They were operating on a shoestring budget, stealing money out of cookie jars and stuff like that. And the other guy got corporate money. It's like he turned, it was like he sold out to use corporate money. I'm like, come on.
So Twister Part 2 is just basically Storm Part 2. And it looks freaking fake. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fan-made trailers. Yeah, I tell you, it doesn't look great. Stephen S. said, apparently the muscles in your body bend or compress to protect the skin or bones of your body from the impact when your body lands back on a solid ground. Crazy to think that it can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to try it out. Sorry.
John M. also said, Mets win! Mets win! Mets win! Rico's Roughnecks are.
Rat Checks Roughnecks. First it was Rat Checks Roughnecks.
Nick D said, Grumpy, when's the last time you watched Tombstone?
It's been forever. I watched Gunfight at the OK Corral, which I think the one with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas in it just recently, but I haven't seen the one with Kurt Russell and the other guys. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, excuse me. Alexander says, where's Carlos Delgado? Yeah, absolutely. It's another guy you always think about when I think about that Mets time period. Nick D said, put on Jerry Seinfeld's pirate shirt.
The puffy shirt. The puffy shirt. You should get yourself a puffy shirt.
I'm good. Thank you, though. Andrew L. said the Mets have DeGrom, Bassett, Diaz, and Brandon Nimmo to re-sign.
They can re-sign anybody they want. It's will they, are they going to do it? I think Bassett, they should re-sign. I'm on the edge about DeGrom. I don't know how much money he's going to want. He's an injury waiting to happen, let's be honest.
Hall of Fame caliber pitcher if he stays healthy over the next 3 years. Alexander says, hey, I'm a Dolphins fan, and I freaking hate our logo. It looks like a freaking whale.
It looks like Flipper. Little Flipper, the little dolphin. Just, they need to have a tougher logo.
Andrew L. said, out of those guys, Nimmo is most easily replaced.
Yeah.
True. Okay. YouTube is showing a lot of Tombstone clips, Nick. I want to rewatch that movie so bad. Apparently, it's again picking up a little bit of traction.
Wow.
And Brian J said, are you sure Brownie ain't a drug dealer, Grump?
I didn't want to say he was a drug dealer. I'd rather him just be a victim, like just being with you. When you're with the Cleveland organization, you're mostly a victim.
Oh, gotcha. The freaking Brownie, yeah.
Victim of circumstance.
Need Cujo as the Browns logo.
I don't know. I think it'd have to be like a bulldog, not a Cujo. It's like a Saint Bernard.
I was thinking of the movie, but fair enough.
Cujo was a Saint Bernard in the movie.
Huh. Okay. Nick D says here, I was on AMC the
It was
other
on
day.
AMC
Oh,
the
it
other
was, I'm
day.
sorry, it was on AMC the other day. Caught the part where Doc Holliday beat Ike several times in a row in poker.
Yeah. It was okay. It was good.
Mm-mm. Taco Bell, most healthiest food over McDonald's and Burger King. Oof, I can go for Taco Bell right now. He says Yankees already up 4-0. No home runs hit. That's what I like to hear. Stephen S says here, yeah, the football gods show no mercy to the Browns. Also, I would send you guys a mock-up for the idea of the new Browns logo, but unfortunately, I'm not talented enough where it comes to the drawing and the sketching. It's just the ideas. Well, it's still very talented, though.
Steven's an idea man.
He's what do they call that?
An idea man is what they call it.
No, they call it something specific.
An idea man. The guy who comes up with the ideas. They call that an idea man.
All singles and doubles, baby. And yes, the turf is garbage. I argued that the whole initials.
He argued with some a-hole who installs that's BS tire ground up garbage. It's causing all the injury because the ground up tire shit when Dam holds cleats. Actually, I know you hated playing on that stuff, didn't you, TJ?
I was not a big fan of turf.
Yeah. But do you feel like your cleats stuck in it?
Well, it'd get 1,000,000 degrees when it's hot out there. It'd freaking burn your feet. It's like you slide and stuff like that. I never liked it. If it's not perfect, the turf, it's just kind of shitty to play on. I'd rather play on grass every day of the week.
Yeah. They used to have that problem with the AstroTurf where, it was just like the rubberized surface where it would stick and you get hit. And they just laid like the carpet over cement.
Frank says here, Subway is Class D meat or worse, LOL. And Tony Cheese said, Subway paints grill marks on their chicken. No, Tony Cheese, no, don't say that. Chet Holmgren is 7'1", 190 pounds. Holy shit.
Okay.
Oh,
he's
man.
thin. He's really thin.
Drill said, when TJ gets fit and makes fun of skinny people, Grump just calls him out as a fat kid mentality, and that would be hilarious.
That's
Voodoo Chili is a Hendrix, Grumpy. Voodoo Chili Hendrix.
Okay.
And it's a Jimi Hendrix song, Grump.
Okay.
Good says, Grumpy, which one of your sons was a better behaved youngster, TJ or Son X?
Son X. I like that.
I was the better behaved kid.
They were both really well behaved. I had no issues with either one of my children. Both very well behaved.
Drew L said Chipotle. That's gonna be when you have to use the toilet after you eat. Chipotle is when you Chipotle. There it is. Chipotle. Thomas Amadeo says, "What's up, boys? Did you see that Mafia kicker? Bill's Mafia kicker is accused of raping a 17-year-old girl. Shaking my head. Why? Just why? Bills are investing in trash." The crazy thing about it, Thomas, as we mentioned earlier, the Bills knew about this for 2 months and didn't do a damn thing. And if they thought there was any validity behind it, they knew for 2 months and were just hoping and praying nothing came up because they liked his talent on the field. Or they determined to say, okay, once now that everybody else found out about it and there's public outroar, now we want to change it. Either they knew about it and they knew that there's some validity behind it and did nothing, or there's not much, they don't know about any validity behind it and determined to go ahead and jump to conclusions without knowing the full complexity of the subject.
I can't believe that with all the research done by the NFL and all these teams on every single prospect, they had no idea that this happened before the draft. It happened 7-8 months ago.
That is bullshit, by the way, that Buffalo did not know that he was under investigation by his school. They know anything and everything about you as you're going through that draft process. I'm going to let you know that. And I mean anything and everything.
He was
a good point to bring up. They know your freaking injuries back to when you were in kindergarten. They'll gather all that medical record. You don't think they're going to know if, hey, he's under investigation right now for possible sexual misconduct. You don't think they're going to find out about that? No freaking way. I don't buy that. I believe that now I'm going one step further. Not 2 months. They knew about this before they drafted the kid too.
Here's the thing. That kid was supposedly the #1 kicker and he slipped to the 5th round. And there were
sixth round.
There were numerous punters selected before him. Everyone was saying, why not this kid? Why not this kid? He's the best one. They thought he was going to be potentially a 3rd round pick and he slips to the 6th round. They knew. Again, it's just typical NFL.
They chose risk and reward. Okay, looks like he maybe did something bad here, but maybe if people don't know about it, we could get a few good solid
Maybe
years.
nothing will come of it.
Yep, they thought maybe nothing will come on it. We'll go ahead and take a gamble. That's exactly what it is.
There was no criminal case against him, so they said,
Here you go,
roll
Grumpy.
that.
Read this real quick.
Come on, Grump. I was quoting Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. You know what? I'm not a big Hendrix fan. Just not. I was standing next to a mountain and chopped it down with the edge of my hand. Yeah, see, I'm not a big Hendrix fan. I'm not saying he wasn't talented, but I was never a big Hendrix fan.
Stephen S. also says here, that's the thing about the original Jaws films was Spielberg faced so many problems during the production of that film that he thought he was going to get fired because of it.
You hear those stories a lot from legendary filmmakers where they thought that it was the end. Coppola said the same thing about The Godfather. They wanted to fire Pacino. They thought he was getting fired every other week. They thought he was getting fired. But that's what made Jaws so good. They have so many problems with the shark in the water in the Atlantic Ocean that they couldn't show the shark. And it was the best thing because then you just get, they had to show the pictures with the camera like the shark's attack. You didn't see a whole lot of the shark till the tail end. That's when you started seeing the shark a little bit. But early on, you didn't see the shark at all. Just the fin. Remember that little Kittner boy got chewed up.
Brian J says Bill Paxton's skull in a Predator trophy case.
That's right. That's right.
Drill said, I spent some money on new bowling equipment and I bowled my high school high score of 178 yesterday. Feel pretty good, not going to lie. I've never hit that high before. I'll be lucky if I hit triple digits. The original Jaws film is being limited released in 3D.
Why? I love Jaws.
What about E.T. Eddie Torres, the extra testicle? LOL, a great Cheech and Chong movie. Okay.
I didn't see that.
I think they should let Nemo walk.
Yeah, who cares? He's just a guy.
Stephen S. saying, from what I've seen and read, the mechanical shark they used in the film worked well on land. They put it in salt water. The salt water flooded the tubes and the shark would not work sometimes.
Right, because salt water is very corrosive, and that's what it wound up doing.
I just said, I don't know what's more ugly, the Dolphins logo or the Browns. Oh, no. And I forgot to mention, since Clay Holmes fell off a cliff, now Cashman called up the AAA closer to close games for us now. I guess let's see how he does.
Holmes also is on the injured list as well.
Mm-hmm. Thomas A. said, the mistake by the lake.
Yeah.
What, Grumpy?
That's the Browns' mistake by the lake.
Stephen S. said, also, one of the shooting days, they had 3 sharks they used for the film. It sank to the bottom of the ocean. The crew had to go down and go to the ocean floor and get it back.
They had a lot of problems with it. You wound up shooting well over 100 days. Well over 100 days.
Gugu says the Mets have to resign DeGrom. If not, then the true Mets fashion, he'll be, he'll sign elsewhere and win 5 Cy Youngs.
I don't know about that. He's an injury risk. That's for certain. He's an injury risk.
And let's go ahead and pull this up here. Andrell said, curious, did you guys see the NHL 2023 cover?
I heard of it.
Yes, I did. I did see it.
Zegras and some girl.
Yeah, I don't care. How the hell did Zegras even make the front cover, by the way? I know he's like...
He scored those flashy goals. And who likes the flashy goals? The kids who play video games. That's why.
Yeah. I'm just like, my God, freaking Trevor Zegras on the front cover, too. I'd never heard of that. I think it's Darnell Nurse's... I assume like the last name Nurse. Maybe she's related to Darnell Nurse. No idea. Haven't done any research. I know she's a female hockey player. It's what they did in FIFA. So EA Sports now is getting to where, I don't know, maybe next year you're going to have a female football player too on there. But you're getting to a spot where the FIFA has, I can't remember who else, and they've got this lady for Chelsea Football Club. I'm like,
can I ask a question? What percentage of females buy video games for sporting events? I would say it's probably got to be 95% male, maybe even higher than that, to 5% female.
Grumpy, on our all sports podcast, it's probably about 50-50 between female and males in the comments, Grumpy. So you are such a bigot.
Whatever. I am what I am. I'm just saying, who are they targeting
young teenage boys who
That's
waste
that's
a lot of
that's
time
who it's
on
for.
video games.
I mean, I
That's the
mean,
majority of the people. They trust me. They're females play and everything like that too, but it's mostly young teenage boys. I feel
yeah.
like. They have the chance to throw a copious amount of hours at video games. Trust me, I was there once and I did it. Let's get here. Gungun says here, greatest comedy of all time: Animal House, Caddyshack, or Ishtar.
Ishtar was one of the biggest flops ever with Warren Beatty and Dustin Hoffman. Was just laughable, not really comedy. I like Caddyshack was great, but Animal House is better. For me, greatest comedy of all time is not even on that list.
Rob says, why is back-to-back general manager's year not on the cover of NHL 2023? They should put Lou Lamoriello on the cover. Wouldn't that be so great, Grumpy?
Yeah.
I'd rather have anybody on the cover but Lou Lamoriello.
If they're trying to appeal to, 65, 70-year-old men, then they put Lou Lamoriello on there.
Oh, man, I tell you. Then they put Lou Lamoriello in there. DeGrom gets injured walking to his car. Grumpy is right. You blow on that guy, and he's out for 3 months. No, thank you. Grump, let's get to some items here that I wanted to talk about because we got through a lot of comments, so we got a lot to cover here still. 50 days till the NHL season begins. Can you believe that? Or I'm sorry, it's 47 days now till the NHL rolls around again.
Can't believe it. The older you get, the faster time flies.
I can't believe 47 days. That's nuts. Let's talk a little bit about Paul Goldschmidt, Grumpy. Tonight, I think he was 3 for 4 with 2 homers and 5 RBIs. So this was posted yesterday. It's been 10 years since somebody won the Triple Crown. Paul Goldschmidt leads there in batting average in the NL. He was 3 home runs behind the home run leader in the NL. So now he's at 33. So I think he's only 1 behind. And he was 2 behind the RBI leader, but he's had 5 RBIs already tonight. So I assume he's taken number 1 in RBIs. Do you think Paul Goldschmidt, number 1, can continue at this pace? And can he lead the NL in home runs and win the Triple Crown for the first time in 10 years that we've seen that?
I think he's picking it back up. He had a little low a little while ago, but he seemed to pick it back up again. Can he win the Triple Crown? He can. It doesn't have the appeal that it used to have, though. It used to be a big deal. Triple Crown used to be a big deal. And even when Cabrera won it a few years ago, it's like nobody made a big deal. It's really tough to win. You're really a great hitter if you have the best batting average, home runs, and RBI in the league.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Grumpy.
So it can. Will it? I don't know.
I hope
he does.
I hope he does. He's for his age too. This has been a huge bounce back year for him.
Yep.
It's an anomaly. He'll never do this again in his career. He's old. How old is Goldschmidt now? Like 34, 35 years old?
He's up there. Good for him. I'm rooting for him too.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, he's defying all the odds with his age like that. It's not repeatable. So good for Goldschmidt. Let me pull up how old he is. Paul Goldschmidt, grumpy old man.
36.
Give me a sec. It's pulling through.
I mean, he's no spring.
He's 30. He's about to be 35 years old. He turns 35 years old next week.
Okay, there you go. 35.
Yeah,
he's had certainly an MVP year this year. If he's not MVP, there's something wrong.
This is the highest batting average he's ever had. He's going to have the most RBIs he's ever had in a season. He'll have the most home runs probably he's ever hit in a season. And probably, I don't know if he'll beat runs, but he's had a fantastic year. An unbelievable year for him. Good for him. I tell you, I'm rooting for him.
Me too.
Let's get here. So we had that one to cover. Also, Grumpy. So remember we've always talked about fan fights?
Yes.
And
no, I've never. We ever talked about fan fights?
Yeah, we occasionally talk about fan fights. Well, let's talk a little different. There is an NFL fight, another one of these crossover scrimmages led into another NFL team skirmish. The Panthers and the Patriots led to a skirmish. And I like Aaron Donald, right? I'm a University of Pittsburgh guy, so I like Aaron Donald. But he does always seem to get in a lot of these scuffles, and every single time this man makes sure that his job is to grab another team's helmet and start wailing it around. So Aaron Donald right into the mix, flailing another team's the Cincinnati Bengals helmet around. Grumpy, I'll let you watch the clip in case you were unfamiliar and didn't get a chance to watch.
I saw it.
We'll show it for the viewers who didn't get to watch.
Yes, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I have seen it.
So, You start to see, whoa, there goes the helmet. Starts flailing around, slamming on other people. My God, Aaron Donald's a freaking menace. I don't know why he does that all the time.
If I was a Cincinnati guy, I'd chop him on the next play. Absolutely chop.
That is assault. I mean, you can't go take another guy's helmet and start banging people on the heads with the helmet, man.
Chop him.
I know.
Chop him. Engage and chop. You want to do that?
Yo,
There you go.
He baited him.
It's easier said than done against a guy like Donald. But look at this. Just goes whop, whop, whop.
He hurt somebody. You can really hurt somebody swinging a helmet.
He could. He really could. That's why I'm like, I'm not on board with that. I'm on board with, showing aggression. I'm on board with tensions getting up. That's fine. Do not rip off another guy's helmet and use it as a freaking obstacle. We used to have guys on our own team. This freaking idiot who was a fellow offensive lineman. He used to rip when fights would break out in practice, he'd rip his own helmet off and use it as a freaking weapon. And I'm like, now somebody else could go ahead and grab that from you or start punching you in the face. I'm like, your helmet it allows you to be protected, you dummy. And he rips his helmet off and starts using it as a weapon. Coach did not take too kindly that, but so people were asking Grumpy, now what do you think should be the retribution for something like this?
To me, that's a suspension. To me, that's a suspension. It's a suspension. It's not going to happen, but it should be a suspension. You're not allowed to rip a guy's helmet off and swing it. I'm sorry. It should be a suspension.
Well, Grumpy, maybe that's what it should look like, but you're right. There will officially be no suspension because it is important when you look at this. I'll let you read that, Grumpy. I got to pop up the.
He's a big star too. So there, like I said, the NFL is nothing if not consistent.
They said the NFL has no jurisdiction over joint practices, which means Aaron Donald would be punished only by the Rams for Thursday's incident. Which means Aaron Donald won't be punished at all.
Yeah, no kidding.
I honestly
wonder what, right? If the Rams were doing the right thing, they'd suspend him, right? But they don't care. They could care less. He would. If they would. So let's say Aaron Donald hits a guy without a helmet and puts him in a coma. Is the NFL going to say, "Well, we don't have any jurisdiction over that, so that's up to them"? You think that's what they'd say? Absolutely not. They'd come down and they'd crack the whip on him. That's what would happen. Man, the NFL, they're disgusting.
I don't understand. Remember when Myles Garrett did that to freaking, who was that? Mason Rudolph? I think he took Mason Rudolph's helmet off and freaking used that as a freaking, I'm going to smash you over the head with it.
Yeah.
How long did Myles Garrett get as a suspension?
He got suspended for a while.
It was like 4 games, I think.
Yeah, that was
the difference is it was on, what was it? I think that was prime time on Sunday or Monday night.
I think it's Saturday night game. I think it was a Saturday night game. It's toward the end of the year.
Okay, it was maybe it was Saturday night game. I know that the Steelers were bad at that time period. And he face masked me, ripped that helmet off as he was getting blocked. He used that, and I think the fact that it was on national television like that made it the suspension a lot more lengthy, I'm sure. But Aaron Donald, not a good look, my friend. Not a good look. You can't be doing stuff like that. That's for certain. At least I don't think so. So a little bit of anger and aggression, Grumpy, but there is a little bit of we talked about a fan fight. We have a fan fight we're going to show, Grumpy old man. Now, this was a callback to last year. This is a fan fight that wasn't necessarily in the stands, but with NFL season coming back around, the NFL fans are always the most aggressive fans out there because they drink a copious amount via tailgating. And as they're either entering stadiums or leaving stadiums, fans are unhappy about their team's results. Most times it's when they leave stadiums. But this grumpy old man.
I remember this one.
Yes, this is a classic one. We had Matt Forte, and I'm unsure if this is loud or not because I got to get the audio fixed after this. But Matt Forte is cruising down here the streets. What is he saying, Grumpy?
Go fuck yourself.
Grumpy, what is he saying? He's talking shit.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna join this guy. I love it. Fuck you,
Got a big
Jaguar
smile
fan,
on
you
his
little
face.
bitch. Yeah, fuck
Jacksonville
you.
Jaguars fan said,
go
"That's it.
fuck
I'm done."
yourself. Go fuck yourself. Prick. You get down. Go fuck yourself. You get down. Prick. You get down.
Oh,
He knocked him down.
What's with the other guy? He's fighting off a lot of guys here.
The third man in jumps in. Oh,
Third
Matt
man.
Forte.
That's like a gang fight right there.
What is Matt Forte yelling about there,
This
Grumpy?
guy's talking. He's talking mad smack. Sorry, you kind of get what you get. Shouldn't
Gotta
be
be
talking that
careful.
kind of
He's
smack.
probably entering enemy territory
I
because
can
look at all the Bears
honestly,
fans.
I can honestly say I have never was walking into a game throwing F bombs at players, fans of other teams. Ever. Why would you do that? And he had, he's first of all, you got to know where you are. Again, why are you?
He
This guy's
pushes
laughing
everyone.
at him.
Why was this guy even confronting him too? Why?
Because maybe he got sick and tired of him talking shit. There's Dick Butkus in the background. He would kick everybody's ass.
So he gets tired about it. Okay, the worst part about it is this guy for the Jags. He's like, "That's it, baby. I'm ready to go. You
He's
ready
like,
to
you want to
fight
go?
me?"
You want to go? And then he said, okay, and he hit him. I mean, if you're going to say it, just say, I'm going to go.
It almost
He's
looks
got
like
his hand.
WWE.
He's got his hand low, but he's got his hand low. He's exposing his face. You got to get that hand up there.
I'm
so
not
he can
even sure he
block a
makes
punch.
contact with his face. It almost
Look where
looks
his
like
hand is.
WWE.
His hand's down around his waist. Got to get that hand up. That's how you block a punch. You're standing there. You got to get that hand up. That's
I'm not
fighting
even
101,
sure.
people.
And okay, I swear to God, if you watch this in slow motion, it's like he didn't even punch him. It's like WWE. It's like a gig. It's like it's a work, Grumpy. I don't even think it's like, yeah, you ready to do it? He bumps him. He says, yeah, let's fight. He doesn't even hit him. I don't even think he hits him. He like turns.
No, he hit him. He hit him, but he grazed him.
He went down there and he took out the freaking razor blade and cut his forehead.
First of all, look at these guys. Okay, they're not in the best of shape. So you kind of hit him a little bit. He doesn't have the pins underneath him, so he kind of goes down kind of easy. He's not a fighter, right? And he goes down. He rolls around like a dog. But here's this other guy. Leonard Fournette jumped in, and he's like, okay, I didn't mind going at the other guy. Now the other guy hitting him from behind, that's wrong. Okay, that's like fourth man. That's third man in. No, fourth man in. Now they're jumping him from behind. It's like, come on, and here's the lady trying to break it up, saying, "Come on, fellas."
We haven't even gotten to the game yet.
And here's the worst part. Again, why not landscape? Why is everything in portrait mode?
Yes, a criminal offense of fan fights. Grumpy. That is classic, though. I am looking forward to more.
No one got hurt in that fight.
They weren't throwing punches hard enough or kicking hard enough to hurt, which is the good thing. So I've got no problem showing that. Nobody got seriously injured in that. That's for certain, Grumpy.
Which is good. We don't want anybody getting really hurt.
No, we're not going to show you once. But, we have talked a lot about fan fights and anger in the stands. We've covered a lot of MLB fan fights. We've covered a lot of NFL. We've got NFL fan fights that are right around the corner, which makes me happy. But you know what? I'm sick and tired of talking about the hostility in the fan section, Grumpy. You know what? We need to talk a little bit about TLC, tender love and care out there in the stands. We need to talk about, unbelievable moments of tender love and care, Grumpy, because, I'm just sick and tired all the time of all these fan fights that are going on. So what's better than going to an Oakland Athletics game, Grumpy old man,
and getting a humming in the upper deck
and getting a blowjob in the upper deck? Oh my goodness. Who would have figured?
Maybe she dropped her hot dog in his lap and was just trying to play bobbing for apples. I don't want anyone besmirching this young lady. We don't know what's actually happening. That's from a long ways away, but it would have been worse if the guy was like this. That would have been worse. We
only have a freeze frame, buddy. I'm sure there's a video of that.
Well, see, that's what I'd want to see. The police are investigating that. I mean, that's an awful. No, nothing happened. I dropped some coins on the floor.
Buddy, hold on. There is a video.
Oh, okay.
Oh, buddy. I'm saying I don't know if she's eating. I don't know people who eat hot dogs like that, Grumpy, but I'm saying she is probably performing some sort of sexual act on that, Grumpy. We'll let the fans decide, just in case you haven't seen. You know what? This is one where you have to film, I feel like, in this portrait mode, because maybe the camera. Could you imagine the zoom on this camera? Because it looks like the shot we're getting is all the way on the other side in the nosebleeds. So the fact that somebody was able to catch this is unreal.
I mean, it just shows you how boring the product is on the field. I mean, this is the most exciting thing that's happened to Oakland baseball since 1974.
Oh man, I don't know if it starts zooming. Yeah. That individual is definitely having an upwards and downwards head movement, Grumpy. So
I can't see that. That's way too far away.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. They don't have freaking telescopes over there, but yes, there's definitely, Grumpy. I would say that's definitely a little bit. Okay. So, That's what happened at the Oakland Athletics game. I figured you'd get a kick out of that one, Grump. Yeah. Oh, man. Hold on. I think there's an after that I want to show you as well. Hold on a second.
An actor?
An after.
Oh, an after. Oh, before and after picture.
Yes. Well, no. There's an after. So after this happened at the Oakland Athletics game, you're going to see that some things stay the same, but some things change. You're going to see here at another athletics game, there's nobody here. Nobody out there, but look at all the people. Look at all the freaking security guards and the upper deck. At every single freaking entrance, there's at least 2 security guards on the lookout, making sure nobody's performing sexual acts.
Well, all right. Who said it was sexual acts?
That's what it was.
Oh, that's what they said? They want to stop the sexual acts in the stands?
What? Okay. They didn't have this before, and now all of a sudden, when it just looks almost equally as empty, you have now 2 security guards posted up at the top of every single one of these upper deck spots. I'm going to say there's a reason for that, Grumpy, and it's probably a response to the fact that somebody was performing sexual actions in the game because nobody saw it because it's so poorly attended.
Do you want to know what would stop sexual acts in the stands?
Filling the stands full of fans.
Having a team good enough that people want to go to the game so that that's not going to happen. They probably did that because there's probably more action in the parking lot than there was in the stadium.
You know what it reminds me of? And this was even more bold. I mean, to do that to do that in the stadium, Grumpy, how freaking nuts is that? I don't even know. Is that just like, I want to do something crazy because we're here at a game and, oh man, it's so empty. Why not? Or is that like, we're hammered drunk and what can we get away with? That's just so odd because we talk about it, right? Your team has to be miserable. Do you remember the Carolina Panthers last year? They had those fans in the bathroom stall that were making love. And you just think to yourself, I'm like, my God, in the men's bathroom, no less. Ugh. I could not imagine any place less romantic.
I don't remember that. You probably look up for stuff like that.
Oh, it was all over the freaking news. Carolina Panthers. Give me a second. Grumpy, this was from October of 2021. Give me a second. I'll pop this up. This was last year.
Okay, so hold on. You're complaining about what we put on the – you don't like to talk about certain things, but you want to talk about fans having sex in the stands and in toilets?
No, I'm just saying it reminds me of this, where I'm like, the team has to be so miserably bad to where you cannot even watch the product on the field, where you can't wait till you get home.
There's a copper. He was taller. He could see over. He's like, hey, buddy, wait your turn. He just say, I was changing his diaper. I had to wipe his behind. I mean, you can say a lot of different things. There are a lot of people.
Man.
Again, the porch review. They got a lot of – hello. Yeah, what's up? Uh-oh.
Oh,
he's getting cheered.
Oh, I'll let you hear the cheers. He's an Eagle fan. Oh, that's the issue. Shit, they're Eagle. Oh, he's getting arrested. Taking him, putting in cuffs. You could do no more harm. Oh, good gracious. But that's immediately what I thought of. I'm like, my God, sexual actions at a sport.
Why didn't they arrest the woman?
Separate.
I didn't see the woman getting handcuffed, just the guy.
I'm sure they did.
Okay.
Give me a second here. There's a few more items. So I figured you get a kick out of that one. Grump, there is also something that happened recently at another baseball game. Now, this is a much more well-attended baseball game. It's a Yankee fan. And I want your opinion. Do you think number one, I want to get your opinion as to what you think about this. Is this the new way to drink beers, Grumpy? This is the way I'd assume you drink beers if you drank beer.
With the straw?
Yeah, just wait. Look at that, Grumpy. He's very strategically putting a straw in his hot dog to create some sort of hole so he could go ahead and drink his beer out of a freaking hot dog as a straw, Grumpy. How much of a maniac is this?
Maybe he just likes the taste of beer through a hot dog.
Holy shit. How do you even get to a point where when's the first time you tried this? Because it's not like the first time I tried drinking a freaking beer out of a hot dog was at the freaking Yankee game. He's done this at the comfort of his house. He's done this other places before, Grump.
I don't see a lady with him. So, when you got a lot of alone time, you do a lot of different things, I guess. Let's try this. I'm not going to run him down. I mean, what's the worst thing he did? He drank a beer out of a hot dog and you put him down.
It's just so weird, dude. It is so unbelievably weird. And the guy, at least we had an individual enough smart, at least we had an individual who caught on to this immediately. He's like, what the hell is this guy doing with his straw? And here it is.
There it is. He's just got a
Oh,
hot dog straw. And then he eats the hot dog too. There you go.
a beer flavored hot dog. Oh, man.
I would think, man, those hot dogs are kind of greasy. Do you want that in your beer?
That's what I'm just like, this is so disgusting, I feel like. This is honestly like, what did he do with the bun? Let me ask you this. What do you think he did with the bun?
He Joey chestnutted the bun. He probably soaks it in the beer and sucks it down.
Jesus, man, the waste of a bun like that makes me so sad. Ruining a great, man, that makes me so pissed off. I can go for a hot dog
You know
right
what?
now.
I've seen a lot worse things than that.
That doesn't sick you out.
You're so judgmental. Anyone who listens to the show sees how judgy you are.
I think most people see that and they say, "What the hell is going on here, Grumpy?" I was just wondering if the Yankees
Your hatred,
you
you hate the skinny guy. You hate the skinny guy. You hate a guy who uses a straw that's a little bit different. You got problems. You're so judgmental.
I'm going to ask you, Grumpy. Now, this is a play. This is in fourth overtime, high school football, the first week of high school football. I want you to watch this play, and I want you, number one, again, a criminal offense of filming in portrait, not landscape mode.
Particularly in this type of situation.
I know. You're at the freaking goal line. You're over here trying to score. You're trying to score. This is like fourth down from what I understand.
It looks like they were like the 12-yard, 13-yard lines where it looks like to me.
This is, fourth overtime. Okay. Well, yeah, I want you to ask, is this an item that's been practiced to perfection, or is this just a complete lucky play here, Grumpy? I want your opinion on it. Oh, good gracious. Did you see that, Grump? Or was that too small for you?
Yeah, it's kind of small. It looks like what they did. Let's see, just run it again. It looks like he faked the ball. He gave the ball to like a wide receiver in the slot.
A wide receiver's in motion coming across on a jet, and he hands it to him in the backfield.
And then
the wide receiver, no looks, two-hand passes it to a freaking tight end that happens to be wide open.
Well, what they're figuring is that no one will even be back on that, because they're seeing the double, because it was a double handoff. The quarterback gets it, gives it to the running back, who hands it to the wide receiver coming around. And if the wide receiver doesn't turn to throw the ball, everyone's going to continue rushing up, coming to get him. And they've certainly practiced that. But that's what they're hoping everybody bites up when they see the double handoff in the backfield.
It's early to be using those type of trick plays week one. I'll say, I know it's a 4 overtime game, but Jesus, it's just so freaking ballsy to say we're going to take the gamble and assume that the safety covering this tight end is not in man coverage, because my God, you're relying upon an accurate two-handed backwards pass. Right? He could easily have been a little off-centered. He's running in a jet motion. He gets it. He turns and literally just chucks that damn thing. He has no idea where the hell that ball's going. He knows, hey, that the tight end's going to be running this route, but he very easily could have put that off target and easily could have gone to somebody else.
Yeah, but what they're saying is what the coach is thinking. They snap the ball. You got two guys going down the other side, right? Two wide receivers going to the left. Then you got a double handoff you give to the running back, who hands it off to the slot.
No. The quarterback touches it, hands it to the jet guy. Then he goes out like he's in motion, who's running an option. So he immediately hands the ball off. But they do have misdirection to where he hands it to the jet. Then you see that the running back and the quarterback pretend like they're on an option play out wide, but they don't have the ball.
Right.
That's what happened.
But what I'm saying is you're hoping everybody pinches up there. And that's what wound up happening. That side of the field, there was nobody there. They sent the two wide receivers on the left down into the corner. So that should draw the over the top safety help. That's what they're planning on. Now, here's the thing. Great backhanded throw from this guy. They probably have worked
a lot of trust. It's a lot of trust to put in a guy to say, hey, we're going to take the gamble that the safety is not going to be playing man against this tight end. And we're going to take the gamble that a guy who is not facing you, who's throwing the ball over his head, two-handed, with not even looking in the direction, is going to make an accurate pass.
But
That
if
is
you-
just, it's
okay.
nuts.
I guarantee they run that at the end of every practice. They run that at the end of every practice.
Not in every practice. They probably run that at the end of every Thursday practice. They play on Friday, so Thursday they do that last little install, and they do that.
I'm going to bet they do that at the end of every practice.
No way.
Once. And here's the thing. What's happened is the guys are sitting up in the press box, and they're watching what the safety's done all game for certain formations. And that's when you make that call. I mean,
it is extremely ballsy.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that, yes, they practice that.
I'm not saying they don't, but I'm saying that is a lot to leave up to chance.
Well, it worked because
I cannot get over that shit. Pass. He just launches that shit up. He easily could have thrown it too far or not far enough. Like, how many reps do you think this guy gets throwing that backwards pass? I'm going to say not many. Maybe he's taken 100 of those throws in his high school career.
That's a lot.
And they're saying, shit, that's a lot.
That's a lot for a play like that. For a play like that, that's a lot of time practicing that.
My God.
I said they do it once or twice at the end of practice. That's when they would do it.
I cannot believe that.
And here's the thing. If it didn't work in practice, they wouldn't run it. They probably don't run it with defense. I'm going to tell you what, they don't run it with defense.
I'm going to let you know something. That play works probably some of the time, and some of the time in practice, it doesn't work. I'm just going to throw that one out on a limb. Jesus, I'm going to go out on a limb on that one, Grumpy. But I figured you'd get a kick out of that as well. One last item before we get back to the comments. Champions League came out, Grumpy. The draws for Champions League came out today. I'm excited. I know you're excited.
Excited.
Let's talk about each item. I think, you know, that A group is pretty tough. Ajax, Liverpool, Napoli, and Rangers. That's a tough little bracket, I think, Grumpy.
Queens Park Rangers.
Yeah.
I think
Ajax is tough. So is Napoli and Liverpool.
Liverpool's I don't care that they're the second team in the pod, but they're the best team in that particular group. Ajax second, Napoli is third. I mean, it is what it is. I think that's Liverpool and Ajax moving through. Maybe Napoli could somehow pull off an upset over Ajax. That's the only thing. Liverpool will go through.
We're looking at B. You've got Porto, you've got Atletico Madrid, Bayern Leverkusen, and Club Brugge. I think that, you know, that's you're looking at probably Madrid and either Porto or Leverkusen that moves on.
Yes, I agree.
C looks pretty tough. Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, and freaking Barcelona.
Barcelona. That's a tough group for Barcelona. It's a tough group for any team there. I think that Bayern Munich probably makes it in safely, but I think Inter Milan and Barcelona are going to be fighting it out tooth and nail. Same here.
You got D. You've got Frankfurt, Tottenham Hotspurs, Sporting Club, and Marseille.
That's a pretty balanced group. That's going to be a wild group.
Yep. Because, I mean, Frankfurt's a talented team. Marseille's a talented team. Sporting's a talented team. And Spurs, you know, sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't.
Just for those who don't know how the pots work, the number one seeds are all the winners of the five major leagues in European soccer. Ajax won the Dutch league. Porto won the Portuguese league. Real won. Bayern won the German league. Frankfurt won the Europa League. That's why they're in there. AC Milan won the Italian league. Real won.
They won La Liga
and Champions League. Manchester City won Premier League, and PSG won the French league. And then everyone else is whatever they were. So
yes, okay, gotcha. But all we need to know is pods. 2 teams get out of these pods. That's the most important portion. 2 teams get out of these pods. Everybody else gets sent to either they get sent to Europa League. So based off of performance. But E is also, I think, a pretty tough one as well. AC Milan, Chelsea, Salzburg, and Dynamo there. That I think they're that.
That's a Russian team. Is that a Russian team?
No. That's I want to say it's a Czech team.
Okay.
But I mean, like Chelsea hasn't looked great to start the year. They've struggled.
Milan and Chelsea should move through, though.
I think Milan and Chelsea will move through, but you could see anything happen. Chelsea's really struggled this year. They've sold a lot of their players and have not had really anything coming back in because of their owner. What was their owner's name again? I cannot remember the prior owner's name.
I don't remember. He was a Russian oligarch, so he was forced to sell the team, and I still think or he gave up the reins to the team.
Roman Abramovich.
Okay, there you go.
I can't remember first name. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They have been struggling financially. They're probably they sold Timo Werner. I've heard rumors they might even sell Pulisic. They're selling a lot of these players and haven't really had anybody coming back into the club.
Yeah.
They lost Rudiger on free transfer too this offseason.
Yeah, everyone knew he was leaving, though. He said he wasn't coming back.
I'm just saying they didn't replace him with a Koulibaly or a guy of that talent or ilk. So I mean, they took steps back on the defensive side of the ball, and as well as the forward group. You look at that, you've got Real Madrid, RP Leipzig, you've got Shakhtar, and you've got Celtic. I think that's not too tough of a pod.
Now, Madrid has played Shakhtar 3 of the last 4 years. As a matter of fact, Shakhtar beat them in group stage last year.
Wow.
But I think that's
home. I'm sure Shakhtar was home when they won. Yes.
Okay. But here's the thing. That's Real's group to lose, honestly.
Man City, Sevilla, Borussia Dortmund, and Copenhagen. That's a tough pod.
Dortmund had a 2-goal lead in the 90th minute and wound up losing Saturday. So I don't think they're very good defensively. They lost Aaron Holland, who went to Manchester City. I wonder, it's funny. Do you think, I know they're blind draws, but I find it interesting that Dortmund loses a guy, the biggest player on their team, and goes to Manchester City, and they're in the same group.
Completely by coincidence, because soccer and FIFA has never, ever before taken bribes or done anything shady, because Qatar was totally deserving of the World Cup that's coming up here in a bit. I think they never do anything like that, Grumpy. How dare you even impose that question?
Well, they got popped. All those guys got popped, but Qatar still got the World Cup.
And you've got H, which is PSG, Juventus, Benfica, and I couldn't even tell you what that is.
The last team in the pod. So PSG, they'll win that. Juventus is down. Benfica's okay. I still think Juve will go through with PSG.
Mm-hmm.
The best teams usually go through in the first round.
That pod C is unbelievably stout. That is a tough pod.
Yeah. I think Bayern wins that, and I'm going to pick Inter over Barca, only because I hate Barca. So I'm going to pick Inter over Barca.
Fair enough, Grumpy. Fair enough. Let me see what else we had to talk about before we jump back into a few of these comments. I think we've covered just about all of it, Grumpy. Got a lot. We covered a lot today, Grump. Let's look here at a few of these. Grumpy old man said, "I am what I am. Are you Popeye the Sailor Man?" Gungun says, "Okay, Grumpy, what is the greatest comedy of all time then?"
Subjective, of course. For me, Young Frankenstein. Great.
Stephen S. said, I'd like to throw in my hat in the ring and throw in Christmas Vacation and Airplane as one of the greatest comedies ever created.
Airplane was, yes, Airplane's funny, and you should watch 0 Hour, which is what it was roughly based on, which was a drama. And I love watching that movie because you see all those parts, and that was played for drama. Whereas Airplane, everything was played for laughs, but the dialogue is almost identical in a lot of spots. And Christmas Vacation was funny.
Nikki said, "What's your favorite comedy of all time, Grumpy?" And mine's Dumb and Dumber. He said Dumb and Dumber. It's a good one too. John M said Auburn game, September 10th. War Eagle, go Mets, Fire Lou, and Dolphins forever. There it is. Ranker saying all of those are great movies. For certain they are. Jarrell said, "Oh, by the way, TJ, what time is the fantasy draft? I'm only asking because I'm busy after 5 p.m. because school and basketball practice. It's going to be in the evening sometime. So I could tell you that much. We might do around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, something like that. So it gives everybody a chance to get home, get ready to do the draft, but they're not going to be up till 1 in the morning. Aaron Donald, taking a page out of the Myles Garrett playbook. Man out here playing whack-a-mole with the Bengals helmet like Garrett did to the whack-a-mole victim Mason Rudolph a few years ago.
Very true.
Thomas A. said, should be a multi-game suspension. Yeah, just of course not. Rob said the NFL is a no morals league.
True.
They don't care at all.
Nope.
Absolutely. Joe said, well, to be fair, Mason Rudolph called Myles Garrett a racial slur.
The only one who said that was Myles Garrett, no one else.
I was about to say the teammates didn't say that, and Myles Garrett denied that vehemently.
Yeah.
And so
I'm
did his
taking
offensive lineman. He said, no, we didn't hear anything like that.
and they're black also. So
Well,
horseshit on that.
Pouncey, yeah, I was about to say. So they didn't hear anything. Mason Rudolph didn't hear anything. Could that just be Myles Garrett trying to defend himself from having a moment of untempered aggression when he smacks somebody in the head with the helmet for certain? And I'm like, anytime don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on that one, because a lot of Myles Garrett was the only person who said it. Everybody else, his teammates said vehemently, absolutely not.
That's right. Vehemently denied it, without a doubt. All of them.
Both offensive linemen and the quarterback said absolutely not.
Yeah, they flat out called him a liar. So
yep. I remember he said, I heard what I heard. It was just like one of those things where they just kind of was like, okay, both have said their side. Just whatever. We'll let it go rest. Roger Dodger is a joke of a commissioner.
The meat shield. The meat shield.
Andriel said, did you happen to see the certain not safe for worse actions that happened at the A's game? Absolutely. Stephen, I said, the only fan fight I will ever appreciate was the brawl that took place between the Bruins and Rangers game long ago, where some Bruins players went up into the stands and fought some fans. Grumpy, you remember that fight, don't you?
Sure do. I remember watching it live. Old Mike Milbury ripping off the guy's shoe and beating him with it.
I never forget that Mike Milbury. Apologies if I pronounced the name wrong. No, absolutely. Ripped off that guy's fan shoe and hit him with it. After that, he'd go on to throw the shoe onto the ice.
No, somebody grabbed the shoe away from him. And then he calmed down. He realized, okay, because, you do something in the heat of the moment, and Milbury was certainly one of those type guys. But after, you wait a couple of seconds, like, okay, no, all right.
Thomas A. said at the Athletics, he said they had their own ball game going on. Jesus. Oh my God. 2 strikes and a ball, or 1 strike and 2 balls. James F. said the A's game is a dump. They put no money. They put no money to put into the they put no money to put in the stadium, and the stadium's empty. More Yankee fans there. That's why Raiders fan left. They need to move, period.
It's an antiquated stadium. It is what it is. They're not going anywhere, though.
You said, N, why is their A's dugout have no fence out there in front of the dugout? I bet the A's are the only team that doesn't have that.
Yep.
Drew said, a beer and a glizzy combo. That's America for you.
Okay.
A glizzy dog. Absolutely. Frank says, I got my gut. That gut might kill himself, LOL. Or that guy probably might kill himself. Gio on WFAN did this. He said it tasted good, but he's a douchebag, so figures he sucks. He sucks on those hot dogs. Oh, goodness gracious. Thomas A. also said, when I saw the hot dog in the straw, I almost blew chunks. Disgusting. A waste of a good beer. Yeah, I was about to say, I can't.
He probably likes the combo of that for some reason.
Oh, man. Speaking of glizzies, how did Joey Chestnut eat a bunch of those hot dogs and makes like millions of dollars? But when a woman does it, she's considered a low-value woman. Misogyny is gross. Oh, Drew. Oh man. You get yourself.
They have the female hot dog eating contest too. They get the money also.
Spider is usually very good, but she'd always compete against the men. Remember her?
Well, not anymore.
Oh, not anymore.
They have the women's competition, the men's competition.
I always wanted Megatoad to win once. I just can't. Can't beat that Chestnut. Chestnut's just something else. Drew L said also, since we're nearing the end, I think it's time to show something. Oh, I don't even have it pulled up. Give me a sec. I totally forgot. Guys, I ordered my NFL Plus premium package. And Grumpy, I'll let you read that.
Guys, you see Mahomes coming out to the huddle before the game started and formed the Len Dawson huddle to tribute to him. Then he walked off the field. I did. I sent that to TJ, something to show that's the way Lenny Dawson used to have the huddle. They had it like the columns. They had the big lineman in the back, all the skill players up front, and Lenny in front of both groups. 5-5-1. That's the way it was. That was the old Kansas City huddle under Hank Stram, led by Len Dawson back in the day. And Lenny passed away just a couple of days ago at 87 years old. I remember they show him a lot of times smoking cigarettes during halftime of the Super Bowl against the Packers. And he was, I believe, one of the first hosts of what's the show that they do, the weekly show. Now it's on Paramount Plus with Sims and James Brown and guys like that. This week inside the NFL, inside the NFL, he was one of the original hosts of that.
Yeah, and Drew, I'm having a hard time. I won't be able to get that pulled up. Sorry, man, I can't get that pulled up. And Mario says here, if Shakhtar Donetsk is playing, then Dynamo has to be Dynamo Kiev.
Okay.
And the Wiki 50 Cal said, "What's going on, guys? This is probably my first stream attended on this channel. I've been subbed for a while, but I've had the notifications turned on, but I never got a notification. Oh no! Wow. YouTube, we're not happy with you. YouTube. We're coming at you. We're coming after you if you're not notifying people who have the notification bell turned on." Alexander says, "TJ, look at what someone did to the Phillies Wikipedia page. I sent you." Yeah, I saw that they did that. Oh man, Wikipedia. They changed everything to the Mets own the Mets own the Phillies. I when I see that stuff, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Honestly, that's
it's so old. People do that stuff all the time. I'm like,
it's like grow up. Come on.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of that stuff. And Andrew L says here, I don't need to tell me how good my freaking coffee is. Okay, isn't that a movie, Grumpy? That he's making reference to?
Yes. It's hold on. Yeah, that's Pulp Fiction when they're in Quentin Tarantino's house. Gosh, Jimmy. Quentin Tarantino played Jimmy. It's after they blew out what's his name's brains, and they had, that's it. And they're waiting for Mr. Wolf to come.
I was about to say, Grumpy. I'm like,
well, the way you read it is so bad that I have to read it myself and try to figure it out, because you don't read it with the same inflection. You don't.
Grumpy, you got this.
I don't need you to tell me how fucking good my coffee is, Jules. That's how you have to read it. I know how fucking it is. It's not that's not the shit that Bonnie buys. It's my own stuff.
Okay, Grumpy. I'll let you read the rest of these comments. You got, buddy.
As for sports outside the Islanders, I have a weird combo of teams I like. I'm a Yankees, Islanders, obviously, Knicks, and Jets fans. All of my teams have sucked for most of his life outside of the Yankees. True.
And to be honest, the Yankees suck, but just in a different way than those other teams.
Very good.
The Yankees up by a touchdown and a field goal, up 10 runs. Oh, wow.
Here's the thing. They'll get healthy against Oakland. Oakland's not very good.
Jarrell said, "Oh, by the way, TJ, you see that Andrew Tate got banned on social media platforms? He had an interview on Fox News explaining his side of the story." Yeah, it's funny. The first time we ever talk about that guy, I mentioned Grumpy. Like the next day, he got banned on Facebook and Instagram. I'm like, hey, Grumpy, we talked about him for first time ever because he popped up on that meme that you guys were talking about. I'm like, and he's banned and he's gone. James F said, "My girlfriend wants to know how old Grumpy is."
60 plus.
60 plus. Drill said Kolkowski is now in the ECHL, so bye-bye to him. Well, I mean, it could just be they're yeah. Well, he was with a 5th or 6th round pick. Doesn't shock me. Alexander said, "Hey, I thought it was funny. I see that all the time. I'm like, oh man, they always do that where they'll change the Wikipedia page. I'm like, it's old."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Joel said, so TJ, I don't know if Leon Rose is trying to bait Danny Ainge, but now the Knicks are talking about getting how do you pronounce that, Grumpy? Gilgeous
Alexander. It doesn't matter. And Danny Ainge is he's not gonna get punked. It's not gonna happen. I'm telling you, unless he gets what he wants, which is the King's ransom, he'll hold on to the guy. Period.
Frank says Nestor Cortez on the IL. Great move, Cashman. Trading away Mike Montgomery. Fire that pencil thick geek, please.
I didn't understand why they traded him. And he's done great for the Cardinals.
Wiki Callaghan said, "Do you guys think that Sita will come to play will come to play for the Knicks?"
How about you dance the drink over here, Spider?
I don't know what movie reference that is, but
Goodfellas.
I don't know. The Knicks, shit. I mean, like you talk about plan A not working out. What are they down on the plan B or plan C right now? Like it's not optimal. They had everything on the Donovan Mitchell bucket, but it's impossible to freaking work with that maniac from Utah.
No one's gonna do them any favors.
Andriel said, if the Mets don't sweep the Rockies, it's got to be disappointing. No, considering the Braves are riding their ass.
Well, they won today. So, I mean, it's in Colorado. Anything can happen in Colorado.
The launching pad. The freaking launching pad. Drew L said Pat Beverly and the freaking Westbrook on the same the same team. What a dynamic duo. Yikes.
Bad.
Yeah. Spida equals Donovan. Oh, Donovan Mitchell's nickname. Okay, gotcha. Spida. Spida is Donovan Mitchell's nickname. Okay, gotcha. I didn't know.
I just like Spider. It's like
okay, Donovan Mitchell.
Which was Christopher Spider was played by Christopher Montesanti from The Sopranos.
I didn't know that was his nickname.
And Joe Pesci. Well, that was his character's name. And Joe Pesci shoots him down.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell's not. They're not gonna. Danny Ainge is freaking a madman. No freaking way. I think they're just gonna say, okay, you keep him. Don't worry about it. James F says, guys, you see the female Hulk movies look stupid. Now I know why. TJ says enough superhero movies. I mean, Sly Stone, a superhero. Or Sylvester Stallone is a superhero. Stop. Yeah, my God.
Maybe Sly Stone. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw some of the coming attractions for that the female Hulk show. It's terrible. Just terrible.
And it's not in Colorado, Grumpy. It's in City Field. I was about to say the game ended early today, so I thought it had to be out east, but I wasn't sure. And I was going to say, Grumpy, TJ, we need to do a space one day. We just did a space. We did a space there. Getting Grumpy on for once was tough there. But Grump, man, we're here at the end of the show. What do you want to say before we wrap things up, Grumpy?
I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening. Again, make sure to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. If you're new to the show, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and follow on Twitter. We'll be live here next Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, have a great Friday and have a great start to the weekend. We'll see you guys Sunday, 8 p.m. We're going to be posting on our social media about the Fantasy Football League. Have your eyes and ears turned to that on Twitter, Facebook, and I'll make a community post on our Islanders Never Say Die YouTube page. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you guys here real soon. See you Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you again, Grumpy Old Man.
My pleasure.